What up, fam? So, I actually just got back from New York City, as many of you guys probably have seen via Instagram and whatnot. And it's a little late. I'm pretty jet lagged, and so I really want to sleep right now. But I wanted to go ahead and kind of just reflect on that because New York City was definitely I mean, I've been to the East Coast in a long, long time. Ever since my grandparents moved out of Dorchester, I haven't been back anywhere on the East Coast for years, and so New York City was very different for me. The subways, though, super hot and humid and just really disgusting and stuff, just dirty wise, it was very cool. I mean, it was just the accessibility, just the wide range of people who are using it, just the necessity of it to get around, and just how it allowed you to go around. I mean, being born and raised in California, we just don't have public transportation like that. That's just not something you do. You take your car everywhere. But just kind of seeing a place where you don't need a car. And I just remember back in college meeting a bunch of people from New York City who just didn't know how to drive cars, period. It makes sense now. Everything kind of just, I just see the reason why. But I mean, kind of aside from that, just in general, just New York City is just very drastically different from California. Kind of the biggest takeaway from everything is just, how should I put this? Living here in Silicon Valley, in the Bay Area, in San Francisco, whatever the fuck you want to call it, I live in a bubble. It is so distinctly, so obvious that I live completely inside a bubble that is unlike anywhere else, for good reasons and for bad reasons. And for here, definitely bad reasons. I mean, sitting on the subway, I mean, being close proximity to people, sitting in the coffee shops there, listening to people speak, they're having normal conversations. They're talking about how their day was. They're talking about what's going on in their lives, good things and bad things, what they something they ate recently. But here, in a coffee shop, you just hear about some boy about how much the signing bonus was, what stupid idea they have for the next startup, or how busy they are, how overworked they are that they have to drink Soylent. You only drink Soylent if it's out of your own want, or there's definitely no excuse to have to drink Soylent. Definitely you can put time in your life to food is one of the few really big enjoyments in life, and so you should really take advantage of it. Drinking Soylent is a big sacrifice, and it's solely your choice. No one has to drink Soylent. But anyways, it's just so drastically different. And just sitting there, I can tell right away, these people do not give a fuck about what little apps we're making here, what little ideas, what little strategy we are having to disrupt, I don't know, the juice industry, or disrupt how packages are delivered. No one cares about that. I think what I realized here is that to care about that is obviously a privilege in and of itself. To have such a comfortable life, to have such kind of, I guess, financial and social stability is a privilege in itself, in order to care about these unimportant things, these non-critical matters. And it's weird, but I mean, not so weird, because I guess in my work I do consider these things. It is important to acknowledge how unrepresentative the Bay Area, where I currently live, is from the rest of the world. And New York City really made me realize that, just by means of how in close proximity I had to be in everyone else. And being in close proximity just revealed that the world in which I see, the world in which I kind of live right now, is definitely not representative of the majority of the world. But anyways, on a lighter note, New York City, I mean, super cool. The bagels, not an exaggeration, they are delicious there. Way better than what we have in California. I don't even know how, just the outer edge is it's not just a thick skin on the outside, it's actually crispy, and then the spread there it was amazing. Also, the cookies there, specifically from Levain and kind of other Levain inspired cookie places, amazing. I mean, think about a cookie as like a medium rare cookie, crispy on the outside, nice, and then on the inside semi gooey, and just amazing. Like those are the best cookies I ever had in my life. Can never forget them. Also, Central American food is much more diverse and absolutely delicious there because, I mean, I don't even think I have like readily available access to Dominican or like Puerto Rican food out here. Don't take me, I don't like misunderstand. I love Mexican food, and its prevalence in like California. I don't think anywhere in the U.S. has better Mexican food, but you do have access to like a wider range of Central American foods out there. Also African food, Southwest, Eastern, like definitely way more access to it. I think we only have Ethiopian food here in California, but it's also, I went to a few restaurants in New York City, and California does not hold a candle to New York City in that regard. But for the rest of the things, basically, I mean, we do have a lot of access to a lot of different foods here, and I'm not ungrateful for it. Coffee shops, way better in California. Definitely have a lot more local roasters and just a lot more access to. It took me literally like 5 days to find a coffee shop that gave me like that could do a decent pour over, and that was not what I expected. But just small things. Overall, very impressed with the city. But yeah, I mean, overall, I could not imagine myself living in New York City, but it doesn't mean that I can't like really admire and respect how beautiful of a city it is, and the fact that it literally very well lives up to its reputation. And I can't say I've been to many cities that were able to do that for sure. But anyways, what you guys probably care about, of course, going out to like New York City, I was able to take advantage and meet up with some people like we used to know from Houston. You guys already know Clayton Dowds of Old Dudes. Now, dude, that boy has grown his company, his label, his brand so immensely. I mean, he's put so much love and time into that thing. Like what was once, I remember visiting his small little like place across the street from like Baby Barnaby's cafe in Montrose, Houston, and like working on the pomade for the first time. And now, like, I mean, just out of tradition, we obviously worked on something when we were out there. But this dude, he has a full-on lab now. The space is beautiful. It's just, it's unbelievable. Like, just Old Dudes has just grown immensely into something that is so, like, it still has that DIY-ness at heart, but it's damn professional now. And so, kind of, we're working on something now, I'm happy to say. Actually, I have a lot of projects I'm working on right now, but specifically with the Old Dudes one, we're working on something now. It's not a pomade, because with a pomade, we're so familiar with it now. I can just via email correspondence work with almost anyone, just because it's such a familiar product and we're so confident in what we know about it. But I wanted to take advantage of meeting Clayton in person to kind of work on something new, because what we would normally discuss about just like implementation type of stuff, just like, oh, just up the holdness here, up the slickness here, bring some more texture here, add some clay here. It was a much more complicated discussion and more theory of kind of like, okay, what can we add to affect the solubility of blah 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 ingredients, how's this going to affect the water contact angle in order for looking at like packaging feasibility, and just looking at things that are a lot more a throwback to kind of like organic chemistry back in like college and whatnot, in order to achieve something or be able to produce something that we're not as familiar with. So it was very important to have like kind of like a workshop with him in person in order to actually make it successful, because definitely we could not have started on this path via email. Just it's just too foreign of a product for us. But I'm very happy to start working on that. Also got in touch with some other people in the area. We also kind of started some projects as well, but super near term, we finally have a product ready for you guys. I'm working with Sheer Revival on something special, also not pomade related, just because, I mean, this product, I'll tell you guys in like another blog post, just basically kind of just like getting the last bits of details about it now, but definitely something that was just, I reached out to him just because me and my friends, we needed something kind of just for like just normal daily use in our lives, but it ended up working out so well. We're like, okay, I mean, I don't know how people are going to perceive it, but I just think it's worthwhile. Like it was good enough, fantastic enough, like for us to use. We're so happy for it that we might as well at least make it available for everyone else to try. I mean, if it's a good feedback, then it's good. But I mean, it's not palming, so I don't know how you guys are gonna react to it. But yo, we'll just toss it out there. But we're happy with it, so we want to offer it up to you guys if it makes your guys' life any better, or it makes you guys happy, or it makes your life any easier, more comfortable. But either way, more details to come, of course. I just wanted to go ahead and at least verbalize this reflection on my trip to New York City, because yeah, I mean, I haven't been on vacation in so long, and I wanted to go ahead and take that before I start really diving back into work, and also work in regards to these projects for you guys. Because with my designer friend from Stanford, Sheer Revival, Old Dudes, Arcade, like there's a lot of projects going on right now, and so it's time for me to just dive back into it. But yeah, anyways, thanks for watching, guys, and keep posted because we got releases coming out very soon. So peace out, guys, and you'll hear from me again.